What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Sector for Nerds. Today I'm here to talk to you guys about the top 5 biggest failures in Disney Star Wars. This list will be ranked on both fan backlash and the financial loss of said failures. Before we begin, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you would like to see me talk more positively about Star Wars, you can each and every Monday as I give you guys my thoughts on every single episode of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. It's such a great series of videos, definitely worth checking out if you haven't before. And in case anyone watching this video hasn't seen a video of mine before, yes, I'm a huge Star Wars fan and I always will be. However, that being said, there is no denying that Disney has dropped the ball on many occasions when it comes to their Star Wars content, and that's what we're here to talk about today. So let's start out this list with number 5, and that's The Last Jedi. Now, from a financial perspective, this movie actually did really well, grossing over $1 billion. So yes, financially, it was a success. However, this was the Kickstarter to Disney dividing the Star Wars fan base. Needless to say, while there were a lot of people who liked the movie, there were equally as many people, if not more, that despised this movie and what it did to the legacy of someone like Luke Skywalker. This movie really was the start to a lot of fans going, I don't really know about this whole Disney owning Star Wars thing anymore. A thought that will infect more and more people as we get further into this list. At number 4, Solo: A Star Wars Story, the first and only Star Wars movie to ever lose money. Well, the time of this recording anyway. Now yes, maybe you can blame The Last Jedi for part of that failure, but in my opinion, I think it has a lot to do with the movie and the fact that it was just bad. And no, Disney executives, having a CGI Han Solo or Lando Calrissian wouldn't have changed that. A bad story is still a bad story. Look, you can like this movie all you want, that's fine, that's your opinion, but from a financial perspective, no one can deny that this movie was a failure, and hence why it's on this list. At number 3, the Andor series. Oh, I'm gonna rile up some people in the comments on this one. I would just like to remind people, in case you don't know, Disney doesn't actually make money off of all these shows that they put on their own streaming service, Disney+. So why they keep making them, or why not license them to other streaming services and make money, who knows? But Andor Season 1 costed Disney around $250 million. Season 2 costed an additional $290 million. That's well over $500 million just right down the drain. To make matters worse, Season 1 of Andor is one of the least viewed Star Wars shows on Disney+. However, that being said, most people that did watch the show really enjoyed it, except me. It's been dubbed the greatest Star Wars series that no one watched. Not a lot of people watching a show that costed well over $500 million? Kinda sounds like a failure to me. At number 2, the Galactic Star Cruiser. Now this one is interesting because from a financial standpoint, this is the biggest failure in the history of Disney Star Wars. A Star Wars themed hotel that reportedly costed $1 billion to make. They were charging $5,000 for couples and close to $6,000 for a family of 3 or 4. And it was only for 2 nights. To make it even worse, the hotel rooms were small, the food looked terrible, and the activities looked boring. None of it looked like it was worth spending $5,000 on. The average American citizen ain't gonna have the money to spend like that, and for what you're offering, no way. Don't get me wrong, while this had failure written all over it, I had no idea that it would fail so quickly. And it was open for what? Wasn't it under a year? Maybe if they would have actually made a hotel that was more affordable for the average citizen, not center it on the new trilogy characters like Rey, and actually make it feel like true George Lucas Star Wars, they could have had something successful. Bro, I swear making good Star Wars stuff isn't hard. I mean, either that or just George Lucas and his vision just, made it look like a breeze. And finally, at number 1, for the biggest failure in Disney Star Wars history, The Acolyte. The worst viewership for a Star Wars show besides Skeleton Crew, and it costed Disney $180 million. Man, all these millions of dollars just being wasted. Can I just take a small portion of that so I can just live my dream of being a full-time YouTuber and not have to work any other full-time jobs? I don't need a bunch of fancy stuff, private jets, fancy yachts. I just want to live my dream, y'all. and sustain a living. So why is this number one? Not only was this show a financial disaster, but it was rejected by the vast majority of Star Wars fans. Apart from the fact that this was a poorly written show with bad characters and a lot of things not making sense, this show did significant damage to the lore and the mythology of Star Wars. The concept of the Force changed to some ball thing, like what was it called? The Thread? I don't even remember exactly because like I've tried so hard to block that show from my memory, like it was that bad. You also had Smilo Ren letting the Jedi escape when the Sith are supposed to be extinct. And then you bring Yoda in at the end, who apparently didn't sense the death of his fellow Jedi, even though he could sense their deaths in Revenge of the Sith during Order 66. And then he also sensed the death of all those Tusken Raiders that Anakin slaughtered in Attack of the Clones. And then don't even get me started on the whole Ki-Adi-Mundi thing. This show was a failure in every way possible, and that's why it's my number one. So there you have it, guys. That's my list for the top 5 biggest Disney Star Wars failures. Let me know in the comments below what you think the biggest failures of Disney Star Wars are and why. Thank you all for watching, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.
I'm glad you're here to tell us these things.